Software looks normal from the outside. You download it, click to install, and you open it. Everything feels simple, but behind that simple button is thousands, sometimes millions of lines of code working together. Every software has two sides: the creators who build it and the people who analyze it. And that second side is where software security becomes interesting. Today, we're going inside the world of software cracking and analysis, how hackers take apart complex applications, find weak points and mistakes inside software, how programs are studied from the inside out, and why modern software like Adobe and other advanced tools are much harder to break than they were years ago. Before we begin, if you're enjoying my videos and want to learn more about cybersecurity the right way, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I upload new content twice every single week, so you don't miss the next one. Now, let's get into it. First step, understanding licensing and trust. Let's start with the first thing users see: the activation system. Years ago, many applications depended heavily on local checks. The software itself decided, is this user and license valid? And whenever security decisions happen, only on the user's machine. Researchers start analyzing how those decisions are made. Modern software works differently. Today, modern applications are no longer just sitting on your computer. They are connected to an entire ecosystem: your account, cloud services, subscription systems, remote servers, and your device itself. Everything is communicating behind the scenes, creating a much bigger system to analyze and secure. Instead of one program making the final decision, the ecosystem does. And this changed the game. The foundation of understanding software is reverse engineering. Think about it like taking apart a machine. You don't destroy it, you study it. You look at every piece, every connection, and every decision that makes it work. Security researchers use reverse engineering to answer important questions like, how does this application handle data? How does it communicate with other systems? What parts of the software trust user input? And what happens when the program faces something it wasn't designed to handle? Because sometimes the biggest weaknesses are hidden inside the smallest details. The tools have evolved massively. Old school analysts relied heavily on classic disassemblers and debuggers. Today, the ecosystem is much bigger. Tools like Ghidra, a powerful reverse engineering framework originally developed by the NSA and released publicly. It helps researchers turn complicated machine code into something humans can analyze. IDA Pro, one of the most famous tools in the reverse engineering world, used for analyzing binaries, malware research, and understanding how compiled programs behave. Binary Ninja, a modern reverse engineering platform with a focus on making binary analysis easier. X64DBG, a popular debugger used for studying Windows applications. Frida, a dynamic instrumentation framework. Instead of only looking at code sitting still, it helps researchers observe what programs are doing while they run. To accomplish this, hackers often rely on specialized tools such as Ghidra, IDA Pro, X64DBG, Binary Ninja, and Hex editors. These tools allow them to examine the software beyond what an ordinary user sees. Think of it like removing the cover from a machine to observe all of the moving parts inside. A debugger lets them pause a program while it's running and inspect what it's doing step by step, while a disassembler converts machine code into a form that is easier to analyze. By following the flow of the program and observing how it reacts to valid and invalid license keys, hackers can identify where activation decisions are being made. Once these locations are understood, they can focus their attention on the specific checks responsible for restricting access to premium features. Of course, not all activation systems are created equal. In older software, once a valid key is entered, the program may never check it again. There's no server, no online verification, and no way to confirm whether the license is still valid. In those cases, understanding the activation mechanism becomes significantly easier because everything happens locally on the user's machine. Modern software, however, often relies on online activation. Instead of trusting the software alone, it communicates with a remote server that validates the license and determines whether access should be granted. This extra layer makes unauthorized access far more difficult because critical information is stored outside the program itself. Another challenge for software developers is key generation. Most commercial software generates license keys using a specific algorithm. When a user purchases the product and registers with an email address, the software creates a key that follows a predefined set of rules. Security researchers often study these systems to understand how the validation process works and whether weaknesses exist in the design. If the algorithm is predictable or poorly implemented, it can become a target for analysis. This is why modern licensing systems increasingly rely on server-side validation rather than depending solely on keys generated on the user's computer. Software may also contain numerous checks that determine whether premium features should be available. These checks act like security guards standing between the user and restricted functionality. If a weakness exists in the way those decisions are implemented, the protection can become ineffective. This highlights an important lesson for developers. The goal isn't to make software impossible to crack. That's unrealistic. The goal is to make attacks difficult, time-consuming, and expensive through secure coding practices, strong activation systems, regular testing, and robust server-side validation. And then we have modern AI entering the field. AI tools are starting to assist researchers by explaining code, finding patterns, and speeding up analysis. Today, reverse engineering is used not only to study software weaknesses, but also for malware analysis, vulnerability research, and helping developers build stronger applications. Modern security researchers don't just analyze one application anymore, they study the entire ecosystem around it. Desktop programs, mobile apps, browser extensions, cloud platforms, firmware, IoT devices, and even AI-powered systems. Everything is connected, and every connection becomes part of the security challenge. And this is where modern software security becomes complicated. Sometimes the weakness isn't inside the application itself, it's in the way different systems communicate. A small mistake, a missing security check, a weak authentication design, or trusting the wrong data. These tiny flaws can create massive problems. That's why software companies build multiple layers of security to protect their products. They use strong authentication systems to verify users. They move sensitive decisions to secure server-side environments instead of trusting only the user's device. They encrypt communication between applications and servers so information can't be easily exposed. They use code signing to make sure users are running the real software and not a modified version. They add tamper detection, secure update systems, and security monitoring to detect suspicious behavior. They also use obfuscation techniques to make the internal structure of applications harder to understand, because the harder software is to analyze, the more time an attacker needs. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and comment below what you want me to do next. You're watching Hackers Arsenal, and I'll see you in the next one.